Well, good morning everyone. Welcome back to Chuck's channel. What are we doing today? Well, we're playing with a couple of different types of Minelab batteries. Now they're pretty basic. To me they're pretty basic, but you guys mightn't see them as basic as what I see them. On the side of this one here, you got 3 charging circuits. Now I'm not going to explain what the chips are. If you looked online you'd probably find these chips. And you've got 2 rows either side of these batteries, which are 18650 batteries. They're a certain current, so you've got to be over at least over probably 2500 milliamp hours. Now the battery to the left there, correction, the right, that's a camera battery. Now this is a different type of Minelab setup, very basic. Now on this one they've bypassed the audio circuits. Now this one has got an audio circuit on it, not sure whether it works or not, the audio circuit. I might bypass that because I don't use this audio circuit myself. I'm not going to go into that, but I've built something that does a better job than what Minelab are doing, and I use it for myself. Last nugget I found with that one was 19 grams and in a trashed area, so it's working really well and the filtering system's good on it. Anyway, let's get back to this. So this is straight through, so there's no audio amplification on this one, and I've got to go through that pin out. What's happening with mine is it's dropping down to 8 volts. Now over time, over a period of time, if you overcharge these batteries, you will end up cycling them out, and they'll drop down from what they should be is about 8.4 volts, and they drop down to 7.3 volts. So there's 2 rows of that, or two banks. So this one here comes from Sony, and they're using the same batteries, and it's a what's called a 2S4P. So you've got 4 batteries in parallel and 2 together to make that 8.4 volts. So each battery is at maximum is 4.2 volts, and at minimum the battery shouldn't drop under 3.7 volts. Otherwise, once it drops under that voltage, guys, you end up with these little fellas here. You don't want to charge the battery and you get a fault light on your Minelab, which is pretty much it. So today we're going to try and pull these apart. Great difficulty if I can get them out. So they're very tight to get out. So when you do pull them out, I've marked them. I mark where the board sits. Make it easier for yourself. And then you've got to get it out, which is a bloody pain in the ass. Will come out, it's tight. So yeah. So I was using this for my wife's 4000. Wasn't a great idea, because some of the batteries didn't have the life they should have had. I have about 4 of these batteries hanging around. Now, so this voltage here charges the audio circuit. So your audio circuit's coming up along here. This is a regulator of some description coming down through here. Not 100% sure. I'm not really worried about all this area here. It probably discharges gets rid of some of the voltage if it goes over 4.2 volts, but these are the charging unit there. This side doesn't have much at all. It has I would say, some sort of regulator to regulate it down for the batteries on the other side. Oh, not the batteries, the actual charging circuit on the other side, which would come through here, and then it would charge all this for the op amps. There's a couple of op amps here. Very hard to replace on these. Easier to just bypass them and put in your own audio amplification, which is a lot easier. Anyway, I'm going to pull this apart, so it's going to take me a little while. These here have all been tacked on. So you could solder them on, but you're going to have heat coming through. You're better off to tack them on. I have the equipment here to do that, so I'm lucky. But getting them apart is going to be fun. So you've got this here, it's been ripping along here, so that was glued in with a bit of double-sided tape. That's why it took so much for me to get that out. Very old double-sided tape too. It's got bloody bit of fibrous tape in it. Anyway, we'll just pop all those off. And that's it. Okay, on this pack here, let's bring it in close. We have our BMS, battery management system here. So technically, I'm not sure if that's got a sense wire for a thermistor. It probably has. But you could use this board again. You'd have to get the thermistor out of that hole. And what you do is you just rebuild the pack. So they're 8, exactly the same as that. They're all your negatives. And I'm not sure why the wire's cutting through there, but I'd say it would be to hook it up to one of these sides. We'll have to pull it apart and have a look. So I'm going to desolder that one in a minute, and I'm going to start pulling apart this pack here, but I'll do it myself and then I'll bring it back on and I'll explain what I've done. And that way you guys don't have to sit through a boring pull apart. So quickly, I've removed this side of the board. They used Celastic to hold the batteries on. Not a great idea, but done the job. And we could just tack on some new ones of these, which we might do, which I'll end up doing, I'd say. And finding good batteries to put in there, around about 3000 milliamps. This side here is your negative side, so you see B negative, and this side here is your positive side, so you just got to mark that off. And down here, now I've noticed that this is a temperature sensor and it's come off the board. It needs to be glued back down with some sort of material to keep the temperature, to check the temperature on the board. Otherwise it's going to float up here. I don't know what. It probably won't do much there anyway. But other than that, yeah, not bad. So this one here, I'm thinking either to pull it apart or to replace the whole box. We'll look at that later. I've got so many of these batteries hanging around here that, you know, I could just use these. These probably be better in this one. So I might put them into there. I will retest these batteries. These are the green version, so they're about, I think, 3000 milliamp hour, if I remember rightly, off the top of my head. And you can feel the outside of that cover. Now, what you don't want to do if you're new to these batteries, you don't want to short that to the outside bit, because the chemical reaction will burn that and you'll have a fire. So if you have never played with lithium batteries, don't do it, because you really need to know what you're doing. On a quick separate note, a friend of mine, or a guy that's on our channel who subscribed, was asking me how to pull these apart. So I think that you just have to get underneath there with a small screwdriver and you should be able to pull it apart. So that's that one. I haven't got the Aldi one here at the moment, so yeah, I'll have a look for that. Okay, let's talk capacitance. I have a set of batteries here. Now, I don't know whether you can see them very well. I'll try and zoom in and bring it down so you can see. Sorry about my video editing. Okay, they're all about 3,000, except for these. This one here is 2,900. I don't have all 3,000s to do the job. So do I drop down? So this will give me a longer life, the 3,000s, of what the 2,900s and the 2,800s would. But the difference is here, you go for the closest you can get on your balancing. You can go and buy them brand new. I haven't bought them brand new here. But if I go to about 2940, the whole pack, so this one here, 2940, the whole pack will be at 2940. So the second thing you need to do is you need to test all these batteries. I've charged them ages ago. Now it's been cold weather here. So let's give it a try. This one, it's still sitting around about 4.1 volts, 4.1 volts, 4.1, 4.1, 3.97. So 3.97 I wouldn't keep in the pack, only because, yeah, it's probably going to be all right for a normal pack of batteries, but we want these things to be Mickey Mouse. So 4.1, 4.1, 4.1, the last one's 4.1. So they're all good batteries. Now I'll just pull one from here, probably this one. So that's 4.1 as well. So they're around about a good pack. So you're trying to get all the batteries the same voltage. You're trying to get them around about the same ampage to put into your battery packs for your Minelabs. So, and as these get older, you won't see these around, so you're going to have to make your own battery packs. Now you can use these and you can use other batteries, but I'm not going to go into those today because I'll probably end up making some myself once I've designed my final filtering system that I'm going to do for the new pack system that I'm going to make. Like I said, it did really well in testing, so it should be good overall. Anyway, that's it from now, and I'll take you over and do a bit of spot welding. I'd like to have gotten it a bit closer, but I'm pretty happy with these figures. That's 12,000 milliamp hours, or 12 amps, 0.1, and this one is 12.3, or 12,313 milliamps. Just get rid of the millis and all the rest of it, and you're into the amps, so you've got 12 amps. So that will keep this battery going for a fair way. And now all I have to do is solder this on, all the batteries on, and they're all matched, and I'm happy with that. Direction of wherever you're going to have your negative hooked on. So that's pretty good. Pretty happy there. That's nicely held there. I can hold that. Perfect. And I'll cut that off there. And all we have to do now is do a bit of soldering and we're away. We have our detector back together again. We'll pop it back together again. Not hard to pull apart, as I showed you before. And yeah, I'll be happy. But first I'll check what my calculations are on the what I've got on my calculations to make sure my batteries are balanced. So we've got the board. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to have a look. Make sure you got it positioned right, because that's your positive. You want to have that going down like that. So you're going to have a little bit to get into position. So I'm thinking probably about there. And that'll be soldered on. So just having a quick look here. they'll be soldered in position there. If you have a little bit extra, it's probably a good thing because you can sort that out in a second. But then you've got to hook up the back end. Make sure they're facing exactly the same way, otherwise you're going to have a lot of problems when you do it. So in this case, I'm not going to fold it over like this to make it look all fancy. You don't need to. I'm just going to run it straight into the board that way. There, we'll probably need them soon enough. So positive to the top in this case, look for the positive sign. Now probably a good thing I suggest you do is tin your wire if you can. So grab a bit of solder, and if it doesn't have any flux in it, you'll need to get something and put some flux into it. So get that nice and neat like that. Probably have to cut the end off. So there, that one's all soldered up. Let's get the back end of it on. So I'm thinking that's a bit long. I'm going to have to cut that a little bit. Cut that down. Once I get two of the batteries in, I'm going to get that one and that one in. I'm going to use some Celastic and try and Celastic it on. Try and cut a little bit off there. Bring it down. Okay, that's probably going to make it. Right, let's do this thing. So you'll need 4 good zip ties, nice and long, to go around the actual unit and be loose so you can bring in the other batteries. And don't forget, they've got to go around the other side too, so you're going to have a lot of playing. Anyway, let's move on.